Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith, I'm an independent stamp demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm working with the Wisteria Wishes, but not as Wisteria. When I saw this, I thought straight away, and obviously Stampin' Up designed it that way, of lavender, and I just thought it was a really pretty way to create a really lovely, good sized box. Now this box is 7 centimetres across, and it is about 11 centimetres high, so we'll fit all sorts of lovely things in there, and it opens up quite wide. But you know me, I just like a slightly more unusual kind of closing to it, and this just folds down almost flat on the top with this lovely new ribbon, which is metallic ribbon, as you can see here. Comes in all of the new in colours. This one's Orchid Oasis, and 9 metres per reel, and you get it in all of the 5 in colours. But there we go. So this is what we're going to make. So you're going to need a couple of things today. So you're going to need a ruler, an erasable pen or a pencil. I'm going to use a pen, hopefully that'll show up a bit better for you. You will need a scoring stylus, so if you've got your take your pick with the small ball on the end there. Some strong glue, you do need something sort of strong, and you'll need a hole punch as well. I've used a small hole punch for this very top one. Obviously you can use a slightly larger one if you've got it, but it being narrow ribbon, that works. And if you've got a bodkin, it's a tapestry needle to help thread it through, but I'll show you another way of doing it if you don't have one of those. So there we go, there's our lovely lavender box. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is cut some cardstock. So I've just used ordinary basic white for this, and you're going to just trim it down. I have done it in inches, and I have done a template. So when I do an unusual shape box, I do usually make it in paper first. You can see here, I sort of put it, and I put them either their mountain or valley folds, and I work out all my dimensions on there. I just find that gives me the confidence that I'm not going to waste cardstock as well. So trim it down to 29 centimetres by the full width. So that's really easy. On the short side, you're going to score at 7 centimetres. And then we're going to be cutting and doing some marking as well. So we want to mark at 3.5. Again at 7, and at 7 centimetres just cut from the bottom up to that score line. Just lift up until you can see the score line. Just kind of keep inching it up. That's fine, you can always come in with your snips later on. You're going to mark again at 10.5, and then you're going to cut again at 14. Same, 17.5 we're going to mark, and this is just because to do it as we go along, and then at 21 centimetres. And you have got a little line on there to sort of show you, so you can line that up, particularly if you're sort of standing up, and you can see right down on it. And you're going to mark as well at the top at 24.5. And then at 28. So at 28 you're actually going to score all the way down there, and then just cut that last section. Okay. But again, I'll just put a mark there just for completeness. Okay. So once you've done that, pop it to one side, and we're going to grab our ruler. And what you're going to do is on each, where you've got your cut, line it up with your mark and your cut, and you're going to mark at 7 centimetres. And these are going to be the points that we're going to score across. Oh, I forgot to mark that one. So I'm just marking at 7 centimetres on all of those. So it's a little bit more effort than a standard box, but I think it's worth it just to do something a little bit different sometimes. Okay, so once you've done that, then we're going to want to do some scoring. So quite simply, you're going to score from this 7cm point up across to the top, like so. Then you're going to score from the top down to the bottom left. So you're making a cross across the crossed section. You see? So there's your sort of bottom section. You're making a cross across there. So the same again. And we can just do all of those now. And just make sure you give them a really good firm score, because you want to get a nice, just makes it easier for you. And obviously just going back and forwards a couple of times will just help you to create that nice unusual top that we've got. So once you've done that, hopefully you can see what you've got is you've just scored those. So we're now going to score these top sections just down to where that cross is. Now, if you want to, you can mark those. You might find it easier just to put a little dot to show where you're scoring down to. So just make sure that's dotted up properly. And just move that along. So that's at 3.5. We've got it at 10.5. Open that out. My ink pad's in the way there. Same here. So this is at 17.5. And I say, having that extra dot just helps you make sure that you have got it lined up properly. There we go. Now once you've done that, we're going to do the stamping next. Oh no, the other thing we need to do is actually score on those bottom sections as well. There we go. So we're now going to score on these cuts, where we cut, on those same ones, we're going to score up to that 7cm dot. There we go. So from that one down to that section there. So again, let's line it up. So 1, 2, 3, and we've already done the end one. There we go. I knew there was something. But what I'm going to do is, before I actually even try and burnish any of those, I'm going to get rid of these dots. And say, I use these erasable pens. I actually sort of seem to find that these days these actually leave less of a mark than a pencil even. There we go. Okay. So now we can start doing our stamping. What will be useful as well are some post-it notes. So I'm just going to pop the post-it notes there. You perhaps can't see them as well as I can because it's on white. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp into these sections here, which is this one here, and that's going to be my area. And I'm going to stamp my sort of lavender blooms first, and then I'm going to come in and stamp the stems afterwards. So I've got my sort of triple blossom, which is the first one, and I'm going to stamp that in Orchid Oasis, and then I'm going to come in with my Starry Sky afterwards. But because they're quite dark and I haven't got around to putting my stamps, my little bars on yet, you know, the one that goes in there, the plain one, so I'm just going to do this one first. What I am going to do though is actually stamp off, I think. Did I stamp off on that one? I think I did, because I want a kind of a lighter shade on this, slightly more lavender. So all I'm going to do is just come in and just eyeball that in the centre. Oh, and I've done it full strength. Oh well, guess what? It'll be full strength now. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out actually. So the kind of block actually is about the width of this. So there we go, there's our first set. I'm going to come in with Starry Sky now. Now the accent image. This is actually a single image, but that means you can kind of have quite a bit of fun with that. I do tend to get my thumb in those though. What I am going to do is give that a quick clean. Cleaning stamps, Stampin' Scrub is my sort of go-to. It really does get a really good, it does a good job of cleaning everything. I'm just being I was being a little bit heavy-handed. And the great thing is, you know, you haven't got to line this up perfectly because it's just going over the top. And that's the beauty of it being a single one as well. Just makes that a little bit easier. There we go. So there's our sort of lavender. Looks a bit like Hidcote lavender. They do a really deep purple lavender. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. So now I'm going to come in. This is Parakeet Party. This is a lovely limey green. It's probably not as true a green as you might want with lavender, because that's probably, usually it's a deeper lavender. But you know what? When you're working with the in colours, especially in the new week of a new catalogue, you know, you really want to show that off. I'm going to move that post-it note across. You don't have to use a post-it note across the bottom. You know, if you're happy with it going and overlapping on the bottom, that's fine. I just think it just looks that little bit cleaner when you've got a nice crisp edge on the bottom. So now we've done that, we're going to come in and we're going to actually start burnishing some of those score lines. And this is all going to be done by sort of hand, really. So you're going to trim off this little bottom corner, and you're going to take this one off at the top at quite a sharp edge as well, because that's going to go into the crease at the other end. And then quite simply, you're going to manipulate these with just with your fingers. So the large diagonals are our mountain folds. Just bring that down and crease the bottom like so. And this top one is going to be a valley fold. So you can just fold that in itself. And then just repeat all the way along. Take that mountain with our vertical, just pinch it up because they're not coming all the way to the top. And that way you get the smoother kind of finish. And then again, just across. So if you give it just a pinch. And this is why I use the standard white cardstock, because it's that little bit more lighter, so works well on these, where our other heavier cardstock, it just takes a bit more manipulation. Again, just across, and again, there we go, and just pinch that in on the inside, like so, and finally across, and again. As always want, just there we go. You're kind of almost just keeping that flat and angling it out slightly. Finally on that one, and then we're ready to start punching some holes and gluing that together. So the holes that we're going to punch for our ribbon are just going to go into the top of each of those points. So I'm just coming down about, probably not even quite a centimetre, perhaps just a centimetre. So just about half, just under half an inch, probably about 3/8. I'm going to come down on this one. I will need to do that one again once I've actually glued it together. But you've just got 4 holes across the top. And I'm going to use, you can either use your Seal Plus. I'm going to use a bit of red tape on here. I'm just going to come on this outer edge. Just bring it really close to the edge, making sure you don't go over, but right up to the top, and then just cut it at an angle as well. So burnish that well. And then I'm going to do what I call sort of bunny ear. So I'm just going to fold that back. This gives me a little bit more time to play. I'm just going to, this is the fiddliest bit of all. If you sort of almost roll it together and just pop that bottom section in, like so. Then you can just line that up with the top and smooth it down, just like so. As you can see, yeah, just patience, don't rush it, and then come in and just punch that hole again, just so you've got enough space to get your ribbon in. So we've now kind of got almost like kind of a slightly square tube. Now the front of our box is obviously going to be away from that join, so this join is going to go to the back. So this will be our front flap. So I'm going to fold that back and fold the opposite one back, because those are going to come in afterwards. And then we just want to glue these. Now with this, because it's kind of, you haven't been able to reinforce as much as usual, I'm going to put a bit of extra, just make sure that I've got plenty of adhesive. So I'm going to put those inner flaps together, just square it off, and I haven't even notched those out. Make sure you know which is your back one. So back flap, as you can see, the join is here, and the front one. So on the back, just put some more adhesive, and then finally on the front. And then all we need to do is thread our put our 4 valley folds in, close it. You'll see it comes together really well. And what I said, if you haven't got a, you know, I'll use a bodkin quite often. If you just put a bit of clear tape on the end here. So I've just taken a little bit of sellotape, put it on the end. That makes it nice and firm. And from the front, you're going to go in from the front and then out on the next one. In again and out, like so. Give yourself enough ribbon to kind of cut, and then I find the easiest way with this is take it over once as if you're tying a knot. So this is like a surgeon's knot. Just take it over a second time, and then when you pull that together, pushing those in, it kind of grips better. So tie it. See, that's you see that's sort of holding. That gives you time to create your bow on the top. So there we have our fun sort of mitre topped box, I think is what I called it before. You can see here, but a lovely lavender box with our Wisteria wishes. So if you'd like to purchase it from the new catalogue, do have a look at the joining offer as well though, because that is absolutely amazing. If you love the in colours, you're going to end up, I think it's, off the top of my head, it's about £192.50 worth of product for just £99, and that includes delivery. So you get to choose £130 worth of your own. Then you get a bundle of in-colour pads, DSP, cardstock, and some special grid paper as well. So you too can make pretty boxes using the in colours. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. And please, if you can use the host code, if you can support me that way or place an order, I'd be very grateful. So bye now.